Close to retirement. I'm retiring. Retiring all. I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
Presidential.
I said when I retire, I'm gonna be so rotten.
You have to
I know,
have
every
that gentleman.
With you I do. Huh, Marsh? You're nice, Mark. Unlike other people.
What you got?
Keep your distance. They move into this, they move into township, I think they're better.
I know, exactly, I know. Yep. Yep, well, we got something to tell you.
Maybe one day when we can get there.
Yeah, maybe we can retire and move to the township. No, we want you to stay in the city.
Move into the township.
I was gonna say.
You already arrived.
Yeah. I think that, I can say. Honors.
What's that?
I'm not gonna say anything, but. Honors.
Okay,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Rex, Mike, both of those are there now. 12B, they're both there.
You should be used to it.
5:30, well, my life, day in, day out.
It's 5:30, we should call the regular board meeting of the Amherst Exemplary Village Board of Education to order, please, by standing and pledging the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please call the roll.
Mr. Engel,
Present.
Mr. Zappa,
Here.
Mrs. Gillis,
Here.
Dr. Messer,
President.
Mrs. Watkins.
I'd entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as it is presented, including any amendments you may have received today.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any discussion or comments? Hearing or seeing none, please call the roll.
Mrs. Gillis. Aye. Mr. Zappa.
Aye.
Dr. Messer.
Aye.
Mrs. Watkins. Mr. Engel.
Aye. Item 5 on tonight's agenda would be hearing of the public. We did have a person to sign up to address us this evening. Annette, would you please stand, state your name, address, and address us?
Sure. I'm Annette Stoica. I live at 5926 Providence Court, Lorraine. I am here because I've had children in Amherst schools. Now I have grandchildren in Amherst schools. I have two little ones. I have a kindergartner and a second grader who are dropped off at my office at Rehab Consultants on Cooper Foster. Since school has started, and even the last of the end of the year, they're on bus number 24, and they're dropped off my office. They live right down the street in the apartment complex there, but my son and daughter-in-law are home in time, so that's their drop-off spot. I meet them at the end of the driveway. They come off the bus. 3 to 4 times a week, cars are going by constantly. That my poor bus driver on 24 is beside himself. He's laying on that horn constantly. Thursday, as a matter of fact, 3 cars went by.
With the arm out?
What's that?
With the arm out?
With the arm out. Oh, yes. It starts down past the vet. There's a drop off there. Someone gets off he's laying on the horn there. And he'll say, did you hear it? I said, I hear you from down the road. 2 weeks ago, I got off work early. I'm going past Dove and Reber Jones on Cooper Foster. The poor bus driver in front of me, she's blaring on the phone because people are passing by. I know there's a new House bill that was passed in June. I know it's going to the Senate. It hasn't been presented or anything yet. But is there something we can do that just for the heavily populated roads in Amherst, that maybe some of those buses could have cameras on their stoplights? I know there's different cities throughout Ohio that charge, I mean, you're cited big time. Even Avon Lake is $750 plus 30 days in jail. I mean, and Amherst isn't listed in any of these lists that I looked up online. Even Lorraine, Elyria is $500 for an offense. I mean, these people, they're not paying attention and they're just going right by. This has been since day one. And like I said, it's 3 to 4 times a week. And I mean, I have a little 5-year-old that if they weren't crossing the street, thank God they're not. And I don't know who's crossing down below, you know, by I think it's Meadowview, down more toward Colby. They might be crossing there, but I mean, I know little guys, they dart. And these people are not stopping. If anything, just for the major roads, if some of these buses could have a camera on their arm, I don't know. I just don't want anybody to get hurt. But again, the poor bus drivers, I mean, they're trying to settle down the kids behind them who are wild and crazy, let alone worrying about these people who are going by and not stopping. It's not fair to them.
The cars that you're talking about, those are eastbound?
Yes. Yeah, my guy's going eastbound, yes.
Have you talked to Lorraine? Because that's Lorraine.
Yes, going eastbound, yes. But no, I haven't talked to him because he's on Amherst side.
Right, but if the cars that you're talking about are traveling east on Cooper Foster, right?
Yes.
So that would be Lorraine as far as,
But who's gonna, I mean, how are they gonna catch them?
you gotta drop off on her
Lorraine's
side.
across the street,
On her
yes.
side, there would
So
be
the
going to
cars-
the east. Going to your place would be
Or
going to the
west.
east, right?
He's
Be the
going, I'm
west
sorry,
side.
yes, no, he's going eastbound.
He's going
He's
eastbound.
on the
and
Amherst
He's
side.
going eastbound, that would be Amherst.
He's on the Amherst
The
side,
other side going west would be Lorraine,
yes.
across the double yellow line.
He's on
Drop
Amherst,
off on your side of the road.
and I'm Amherst,
Right, but the
Yep.
people on the opposite side going west
Is Lorraine,
or
are
Lorraine.
Lorraine.
right.
I mean, how else would we catch these people if it's not a camera on the
But
bus?
but the whole thing is that the double yellow line determines
Right.
Amherst and Lorraine.
Oh, I see.
So we would have.
But
to
down the road, it's still Amherst and
No,
Amherst.
some of that is correct,
Yes.
right.
You know, and they're going
I'm
through the
not
same
making
thing
an
I'm doing.
excuse, I'm just trying to figure out.
Right,
who's-
yep,
So you're saying that there's no ordinances that you see?
not that I see, no.
Okay.
And like, there's 27 states that do have that.
We have-
Wait, that would be Lorraine though.
But really,
Yeah.
Lorraine
Right.
City, it would be Lorraine City, so
Right.
Lorraine
Right.
Police would have to be the ones who
Right.
could
Where
enforce that.
she's at.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
And I think Mr. Zapp is correct, because I've talked to, actually, our transportation supervisor this year on Cooper Foster and that issue. And she does mention if we can have video that's available that does have like their license plate, she
Right.
did mention submitting to Lorraine Police. So I think Mr.
Yeah.
Zapp is correct on that issue.
So there's nothing we can put on our bus?
That's something we can look into as far as
Okay.
maybe additional cameras on our arms, like you said, the stop
Right.
signs. I know
And
there
it's
are
like,
some,
it's just
I don't think we have that.
populated-
Right.
There are
Like even
grants.
probably Levitt Road, they might need 1, 2, you know, I don't know
Right.
if that's such a wide,
Right.
I don't know, but if something could be done, it's crazy, you wouldn't believe it.
I think there's a state code,
I think it's
there's a
provides
state
code.
code
Yeah.
that addresses that. It's not city by city. Now, you can increase that,
Right,
but there's a state code
right.
minimum,
I think it's like 250 to
Right.
500,
right.
yeah, but I mean, but a lot of these are extra, I mean,
Mhm.
there's jail time, suspension of the licenses, people are just going by and don't care to stop. It's sad.
Yeah, that is sad. Somebody's gonna get.
Well, I think we should have the Amherst Police be down there a few days, and I also think we should inform the Lorraine Police Department to be there for a couple of weeks to see what happens.
Yeah, we could talk to that.
That'd be great.
In terms
you.
of
Thank you.
outfitting
Thanks
the
for bringing it to
buses,
us.
there is
Sure.
a grant you can apply to through the Ohio, I think it's a transportation work group. They have a safety grant.
That'd be good too.
I hope they
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing it to the attention of everyone, okay? We would move on to item 6, the treasurer's report. Madam Treasurer?
Yeah. So this is the report that you see each month, has month to date on the left 3 columns, year to date for this fiscal year and the 2 prior years. Toward the right, the things that are highlighted in green are favorable variances. With revenue, that means more revenue than last year. With expenditures, that means less expenditure than last year. So basically, we knew that we had considerable assessed valuation growth, which provides for greater inside millage revenue. We also had new construction. And then the other item that was highlighted was the other revenue line, and that was greater investment revenue and pay to participate. More pay to participate fees were collected in August than last year due to policy changes. And then as far as the expenditures are concerned, we're going to go into greater detail in the next slide. Most expenditure categories we saw increases. So in the 100s, refresh your memory, that's salary and compensation. 111 certified salaries, 141 is classified salaries. We're up 69,000. They would have been paid more, but there was more severances paid out last August than this year. So it would have been a higher number. We'll see probably the true picture in September, when we close September, what the basic increase will be on a month-to-month basis for salaries and compensation. 200s are retirement, fringes, and insurance, up 74,000. Just recall that retirement and FICA taxes are going to grow as wages do, and that health insurance and dental renewals take effect for July premiums. So does vision, but vision has had a 0% renewal for 2 years. Health insurance, prescriptions, and dental renewals all had increases. Those are realized in June. For July premiums, we pay the month ahead. And then 400s are our purchase services. Increases saw 410, 419, 423 in utilities. 410 is professional services, for instance, like speaker fees. 419 are other professional things like purchase services that we have for students with special needs. 423s are repairs, primarily repairs to properties, personal property. And then utilities, we saw increases in gas, natural gas, and electricity. That makes sense for electricity because August we're still using, July and August we're still using air conditioner. Payment in lieu, we paid last August, so that showed as an increase for this August. In our supplies and materials, every object code decreased this year except textbooks. We had 2 textbook adoptions. One was just under $49,000 that hit in August. As far as capital improvements, this was a planned reduction. We spent $506,000 last year, or thereabouts, in capital, and we spent nothing in August this year. Again, that was planned. And your 800s, those are miscellaneous codes, and the biggest increase here was due to fees being paid to the county auditor and county treasurer. And just keep in mind, as our tax revenue increases, so do their fees. So we pay them to administer our revenues. Any questions about this detail? No?
Can I make one comment about payment in lieu of real quick?
Yes.
Just want to thank Transportation Supervisor Tia Ford. She worked very hard, not sure everyone's aware of that, but from last year, this year, she worked very hard in trying to provide busing for our open door students. And so we are, I think, busing about 4 of them, which is a good thing. But then we removed payment in lieu of for 50 or 60 families because they're choosing not to take our transportation. So that's a good thing to save money on the payment in lieu of. I think the next largest group is Lyric Catholic, and I think we're starting to look at that, see if we might be able to provide busing again to reduce those payment in lieu of transportation costs. So just good job on this board for summer and making that happen.
Just so you understand, the timing, payment in lieu happens in the year following. So we will realize that savings next July, August. So just so you realize there's a 12-month lag there in payment in lieu payment in lieu payments to parents. Okay, next. So this is small, unfortunately. I could send this to you in paper format. It would probably be more useful. But just know that I went through and calculated, this is actually from the settlement reports from the first half collection that was in the winter and the second half collection that was finished in August. The gross amount is all collections. PUP is public utility personal property. That is coded to the second line of the forecast, line 102. And then class 1 and class 2. Class 1 is residential agriculture. Class 2 is commercial, industrial, mineral, etc. So you see the collection for inside, the current expense, all of the current expense levies together, and then the emergency levy. And then the next is the state reimbursed amount, and that's homestead and rollback. And then there's the calculation of the amount collected, and then you see 6 columns of fees paid to the county, which add to $338,570, and then the payments to the district total $21,564,000. And again, those are all payments to the district. So I just thought this was interesting, something that we're going to be talking about more in a couple of weeks when we talk about the forecast. Okay. Next. So just an update, we did not fare well at all in the housing lottery, whatever you want to call it, for Capital Conference. Everyone's been registered. We registered 2 extras, depending on what happens with the elections. And I've registered everybody for the Monday luncheon, and I registered Amanda for her event on Sunday evening. The hotel accommodations, again, we were at 4 different hotels for 1 night each. And it was a mess, guys. And to tell you that we spent an inordinate number of hours on this is an understatement. I believe, as of this afternoon, we have all of our reservations for the Renaissance for 2 nights each. We will have to pay cancellation fees to get rid of the other rooms that we got through the housing lottery. And then we are waiting to hear some details. Kind of got an affirmative for the board meeting there on Sunday afternoon. Kind of wondering what time. As soon as I find out the name of the room that we will have our special meeting, I can notice the meeting. What time? 2 to 5:30. Check-in is until 3. We almost always start our meeting before check-in time, so it's up to you guys. Here's your chance to talk.
I'd like 4.
4?
Well, then it was, you talked earlier, didn't it?
We used to do
Yeah,
it.
we
We used to.
got a lot to talk about.
You do?
Yeah, and dinner reservation is what time, Mrs. Walker, did we say it's 6 p.m.?
said 6.
Oh, okay.
Yes, dinner reservation is 6 p.m.
So
That won't
our
work.
meeting should start at 5:30?
We can
You
review
want to
our-
start at 4?
Yeah, we can review our agendas and see if it's more like 3 or,
Okay.
yeah, we'll look at that.
Okay.
Tentatively in
fine.
the afternoon.
2's fine.
I was thinking 5:30, but that's fine.
Okay, we'll play it by ear. I'll finalize that with,
2, I think 2 is fine, because, yeah, I think we should just stick with 2 so that we make sure we have time, because last year we didn't have time, if you recall. So I think we should just stay
We
at
had
2 o'clock, and if we're done early, it's not the end of the world, because last year you were all waiting on us to be done, because we took care of some other business. So I think we should just leave it at 2 o'clock.
What time did we do last year?
it was early last year as
It's 2
well.
o'clock.
Two?
It was. Yeah, the last 2 years, I think, have
Didn't
been.
seem that way.
So there will be, what, 9 of us, 10 of us, 11 of us?
How many's going?
Yeah.
How many's going? Anybody else?
New board members.
Mackenzie?
New board members.
There's no other
other
staff.
administrators are
Oh,
going this
okay.
year.
So actually, when you talk to the Renaissance, the boardroom would work very well for that. which is on the third floor up above the mezzanine. That boardroom is wonderful. It's a nice boardroom. It's very comfortable.
Is that the one that fits 24?
Yes.
That's the one I selected.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be a great location. And it's
Yeah.
very comfortable.
We started at 2 or no, we started at 1.
I thought it was.
2 sounds good.
Yeah. Bad.
I thought it was earlier because I remember.
It was at
still weren't done.
1.
I still remember
And we
leaving
still
that
didn't have
room.
enough time, honestly, last year, we still didn't have
Whatever time you
enough
guys
time,
think
so.
you need.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my child.
It doesn't matter.
All right, dinner reservations are at 6 that night, so.
We burned that up last year.
Do we have speakers or anything for there, or it's just us? Okay.
And that is still walkable to the convention center.
They have a shuttle, as far as I understand.
Yeah, they do have a shuttle, but it's also
Yes.
walkable. It's about
It's a
5
mile.
miles. Yeah.
It's a mile, it's a mile.
In the dark.
She has mapped it out.
With heels.
She has,
Yes, I'm sure.
that is accurate.
I'm confident she has mapped
There's
it
a
out.
shuttle for that.
It's not as
And if
bad as
there's
living at
not-
the other end of
if
town.
there's
is what
not,
it
The
is.
Holiday.
At the Holiday Inn on the other
Holiday
side
Inn,
of town.
Here's the thing, if there is not a shuttle, and you choose to do an Uber or a Lyft or something, you just keep your receipts, and the district reimburses you. It is much further away than what we're used to staying,
Right.
and it was a mess.
We're not gonna get
Thank you
one.
for
No one.
getting us all.
Yeah, thank you.
Janet,
The
Diane, and I
shuttle is
come
not
up with
provided
that
by
place
OSBA.
ridiculous.
But they're actually
That's
gonna
those
charge
buses
us.
that circle around.
You're right, yeah.
The shuttle is provided by OSBA, so they're the buses that circle around. Front-
The weather's nice, I don't mind.
The restaurant on the first evening is a walk. It's a 15 to 20-minute walk. The next night, we're across the road.
Okay.
Frogger.
I was
Frogger
I just said,
across
I
the road.
remember you freezing my
Yeah.
first girl and giving you a coat to walk.
Yes. So that stuff is
You
settled.
could also take the shuttle from the Renaissance to the convention center and then walk, and then it's only about a 10-minute walk.
To the restaurant.
I do believe. Because it's.
I canceled her first reservation, so because they were in the shore north, so,
Wow.
yeah, it was a lot. So that's good. Special board meeting, 2 o'clock. We'll start preparing all of the agendas and all that good stuff for that. And if you have any special topics that you want to talk about, you can talk to your superintendent about that. But we have a couple of things planned already that, but, all right.
You just said that on camera, you're not getting
Mrs. Walker.
And everyone knows I joke.
Okay, any other questions for Amy on her report? If not, we would go to item 7, which would be her recommendations.
Okay, so this month we have 2 regular board meeting minutes that need to be approved, August 25th and September 8th. And then the August financials, as you know, the August financials are the cash reconciliation, a financial summary by fund and special cost center, the forecast report for the general fund, and the check listing for AP, both electronic and paper checks. Next, we have one then and now. I do believe I explained this in the email. This was something that Power School invoiced us for. I believe it was June 10th or 12th. And we weren't sure that we were even going to be using one of the products that they were invoicing us for. Mrs. Hall requested multiple times for them to change the invoicing to a 7/1 date or after. They wouldn't change it. Then after the fact, of course, our purchase order was dated 7/1, the first day of the fiscal year. And then we decided to use School Messenger again, right, Mike? So it was, that particular invoicing was a mess and all of that. And then we had one donation that the board needs to acknowledge, and that's it. Next slide. There is one business recommendation. That is my recommendation. It is to Frontline Education for Forecast 5 Analytics software. greatly enhanced with the budget management and comparative analytics. The thing is that half of the districts in the state use this forecasting software. And so with our real estate getting more and more complex, assessed valuation group, we fell below the floor, we bumped up to the floor, moving millage. I mean, there are a lot of moving parts to this right now. And Forecast 5 Analytics is very tapped into what's happening with the budget at the state level. So as far as being able to project enrollment, of course, those are basically our inputs for projecting enrollment, but it takes our individual wealth, our median income, it takes our assessed valuation, makes changes to it, and it can project what your state funding level will be for the years of the forecast for lines 103, unrestricted, 1035, excuse me, and restricted, line 104. So just want you to be aware what it is, and I'll be the first one to say it's costly. Hoping to roll this out here in the next couple of weeks and work on the the February forecast with the software. Any questions about any of this?
Is that the new schedule for February?
So we would
Yes.
entertain a motion
I'll make a motion.
for treasurer's recommendations A through D. We have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there discussion or comments on those 4 items? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mrs. Gillis? Aye. Mrs. Wackel? Dr. Messer?
Aye.
Mr. Zappa?
Aye.
Mr. Engel?
Aye. Motion passed. Superintendent's report, Mr. Molnar.
Yeah, I'd like to give an update on the transportation project. Last report, I think last month, we were asked by Lorraine County to do some additional stormwater pollution protection. After reviewing that, since they reversed course and we don't have to do additional right now, so that's good news. Also, the gas meter locations is set by Columbia Gas. We were discussing on Thursday that there is a review as far as the transmission gas line, because we want to make sure that, there's a requirement to be 30 inches below ground. So they're double checking on that final grade and make sure it's actually 30 inches below ground. So if not, we might do a little more grading there, but that's something they of course have to check. The building foundation work began last Wednesday. And the plumbers and electricians were there, of course, making sure the rough-ins were proper placement. And then the pre-engineered building, which we said was going to be scheduled in early October, is scheduled for delivery on October 3rd. So those are some updates for the Transportation Center project. Next slide. And so would like to schedule a visit for the board at the site. Obviously, wanted to wait till there was something to see there. So now that the structure is being delivered on October 3rd, I'm hopeful that by October 20th, our next board meeting here, we'll be able to visit. So I asked CT Taylor if they would entertain a visit there, them being there as well to answer questions and kind of take us on the site. And right now, tentatively planned to do that before the board meeting. So our board meeting is on October 20th at 5:30 p.m. Was thinking, if we all met there about 4 p.m. around that time, it gives maybe like an hour, a little less than an hour, and then of course the drive over here for the board meeting. So wanted to hopefully give you enough time, a month ahead of time, to set aside some time in your calendars and see if you might be able to do that October 20th visit to the transportation site.
You said 4 o'clock, Mike?
Yes, I think it's, shouldn't be there too long, but
Okay.
I want to make sure we get back to the board meeting on time. How's that sound for the board?
Good.
Perfect.
Excellent. And then real quick, as a reminder, it's homecoming week, so a lot of things are happening. I want to remind the board to invite to the Gallery of Success on Friday morning, 8:30 a.m. Those are the inductees that will be inducting in the Gallery of Success there on the screen. So it should be a great morning as usual. It's a great event. Hopefully all board members can be there. It's at 8:30 a.m., so it's a little bit earlier this morning, or this Friday, than in the past. And then homecoming parade starts at 5 p.m. I think our goal is to arrive at the old board office by 4:30, 4:45 p.m. Is everyone good be able to make it, or Dr. Messi will be able to make it probably?
It's back by 2.
Okay, let's see.
It will be me and Mark here.
All right.
I leave that
Wearing our
morning.
shorts.
Okay, that's right, I'll send you,
I leave
Wearing
too.
our shorts. Where and hammers. Choices are yours.
and then Mr. Trunzo and his students are making signs for the vehicle, Mr. Zappa, so
I'm sorry.
Mr. Trunzo and his students are making signs for the vehicle, for the Board of Education, to put on the side, so.
We
We'll
have
just,
the signs, how we gonna put them
we'll
on?
glue it right on there.
I think that's a great idea.
Tactic daddy.
We'll figure something out for you. We'll protect your car, we'll protect your car.
Duct tape.
It'll be fine.
And as usual, again, there's a lot of homecoming, like celebrations, activities
Yeah.
between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. the game with homecoming queen and court and all that stuff. So, should be fun. Hopefully the weather's nice. I don't know. Is it supposed to rain again, I think, possibly?
Yeah.
It's supposed to rain possibly, so
20%.
Oh,
hopefully,
that's nothing.
hopefully it'll pass.
I will keep
You're the
everyone
weather
posted on the
lady.
weather.
Say it's 45.
Oh, yeah.
It currently says there is a chance of rain.
It's gonna change 5 times.
I will let you know. I will keep you abreast
Thank you.
of the weather.
If you have any questions,
But you
any-
can't throw candy. So you can hand it, but you can't throw
Right.
it, just so you all remember that, because that was on some other
Oh, currently
notification
it
we got.
says Friday's gonna be fair and partly cloudy.
Perfect.
You got to hand the candy, you can't throw the candy, Mark.
Coming from somebody that's not gonna be there, right?
Well, I don't think you were there last year.
I
Yes, we were all there. Maybe you was.
You wasn't there.
I'm thinking
Maybe
the
I was.
I'm thinking the
You
year
were
before
not.
that.
I was.
They all run together. What was the one that was raining on?
You
That
were
was last
out of
year.
town and you came back, and you know,
Glad I was missed.
you were.
You were very, yeah, very much so.
Here I am.
All right, that's all I have for my report.
Any questions for the superintendent?
Excited for all the things.
Thank you, Michael, for all that you do. It's very much appreciated.
Well,
You sound sarcastic, but it's true.
It is real.
I really-
We genuinely.
Now I sound sarcastic. Assistant Superintendent Ms. Walker, do you have a report for us this evening?
I do have a report for you. When we had our last building administrative meeting, I had our school social workers give an update of what they typically, at the beginning of the year, they do a update about what they did within each of the buildings last year. And so I thought their numbers were very interesting, and so I wanted to share them with you as well. Last year, our 2 social workers had a total of 230 referrals. This is up 43% from the year prior, and then 111% from the year before that. So they have been supporting families and supporting students. The referral for services were about 216 of them, and then they had about 51 unique parent interactions each month, give or take. And of those unique parent interactions, it was an average of 93 total interactions. So even though they would have one referral, they might meet or talk with that family multiple times. And so that's why that was there. And then some of the things they've been doing is small groups. They run a lot of small groups in each of the buildings. Nord, junior high, and high school, they have rocks. They have Marion Mentoring that is between Steele and Nord. Big Comet, Little Comet, which is between the junior high and Powers. Building support they're providing with different activities and things for the new students within each of the buildings. One of the big things I wanted to focus on was the family linkages to resources, because they do a lot of things linking our communities to different, or our families to different resources within the communities. And so some of the numbers I wanted to share with you for that are, last year they gave 252 students school supplies. For Thanksgiving Heroes, they linked 95 families for turkey dinners. Christmas, for holiday supports, they had 37 families, which included 71 students that were adopted by school staff, community donors, and they received holiday gifts or gift cards. And then Comic Gear, they were able to give Amherst Spirit Wear to 104 students and families. They also had, with the additional supports, food bags. They had 33 students that would receive weekly food bags. They estimated about 1,000 students a month were utilizing food from the care closets throughout the program, the Ohio Go snack food program. And then for winter coats, they distributed 251 coats to our families over the course of the year. And then for Second Harvest, we had a total last year of 1,021 families receiving food throughout the year. And so what I had her do is give a comparison. So for each month, in September last year, they had 69 households receive food, whereas the year before it was 53. This year for September, she's already at 86, and they still have another week of referrals coming in. So just wanted to share with you the impact that our social workers are having, linking our families and our students to different resources and having different programs available to them. Any questions? It's good work. It's good work. They're good people. And thus concludes my report.
Questions for Sarah? Thank you, Sarah. We appreciate what you do too, as we do with the treasurer as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Engel.
I don't want her to feel left
Do
out.
you need a drink? Yes, thank you.
It's good to feel appreciated.
JVS report. The JVS board meeting was last week. It was the shortest board meeting I've ever attended at the JVS. That's my report. Actually, it was a very good board meeting. There wasn't a lot on the agenda, but everything is going very well. We talked, if you haven't been out that way, the new sign has been very well received, and we are actually generating some revenue from that sign, because we are charging the general population or the general public, if they'd like to put something on there, there is a fee schedule that if you want to advertise something there, I doubt that Amherst would want to advertise anything on that. But the southern part of the county, several people have stepped forward and inquired about doing that. Also, the invitation, I think that all of you probably received, or some of you received, for the summer intern dinner that's coming up on the 15th of October. If you haven't received that, you should have received it electronically, probably, and in the mail. I don't know that every board member would have received it, but you probably can go online and register for that. But I'll admit, you guys should have certainly received that from that perspective. It's actually going to be at the fairgrounds this year. Last year it was in Sheffield at the big truck place.
So you go to the JVS website, that's what you're saying?
Yes, I'm sure. Okay, but that's there, so they'll recognize all of the people who, all of the students who had a summer internship, and they'll tell you how many dollars they made and how many hours they contributed, and then some of their employers will be there and talk about them. It's a nice little evening from that perspective. It begins at, the doors open at 5:30 and dinner begins at 6. So if you're interested in that, if you can't find it, let me know. The other topic of conversation at the board meeting was a succession plan of how the administration will be changing over the next 3 years at the JVS. I told you, I believe last month, that the deputy superintendent is retiring in December of this year, so he has a couple more months. So in making that change, the principal is going to be stepping in and doing part of that role. She will be leaving the principalship at the end of December, because her plan is to retire December of next year, okay? So she will be picking up the human resource component of what the deputy superintendent is doing, and we will be hiring a management person to oversee the construction and the things that Jerry was very good at because that was his background. So we will be hiring someone to oversee that. So that's happening. And then we will not be replacing the assistant superintendent or the deputy superintendent the following year either. That position will remain open. Glenn will do that, pick that up, because it would probably be the interest of the board by that time, the following year, that they will be starting a search for a new superintendent, because Glenn will retire December of the following year.
Wow.
Okay? So the next 3 Decembers, so part of that will be our succession plan in doing our strategic plan, how we will do that. So that way, the new superintendent can put a whole team together, not just having to acquire someone. So that's kind of the long-term plan from that perspective. So the other thing that's coming up is, I don't remember the exact new name of the craft fair, but it's coming up here. I think it might be this weekend. But it's happening. It used to be the craft show. It's not called the craft show anymore. It's called something else. But it's out there as well. It's going to be well received as it always has been. It might be October 4th. I couldn't remember if it was this weekend or the following weekend. Amherst had their football helmet there. That was good. That was a big topic of discussion also at the board meeting because there were 4 that did not have their football helmets there. So we had ours there. So thank Michael, whoever got it there. I appreciate that from that perspective. Do you have any questions about the JVS? Okay. We will move on to the personnel recommendations, item 10 on the agenda. Well, let's go back. Any board updates from this board that you would like to share about anything? Amanda, do you have anything this evening? Okay. Anyone else have anything that they would like to share? I just have a question. I show a board meeting on October the 5th.
I have that too.
It's the 6th.
So we are actually having
Yes,
that?
that is, if you recall, that's the 5-year forecast presentation. It's a special meeting. Because of the due date of the forecast is the 15th.
So it is on Monday the 6th?
Yes,
Okay, I was
5:30.
thinking.
I had it, I deleted it. That's
Well, I
fine.
had it, and then I thought, why are we having that? And then I couldn't remember, okay.
Yes.
All right, so it is happening on the 6th.
On the 6th at
And that's
5:30
strictly
here.
just for,
That's the
unless you have
plan.
something else.
Yeah.
But right now, it's just for
Mr.
the,
Molnar.
Anything else
October
on the
6th, do you foresee anything else on the agenda?
Not right now, no.
okay, all right. All right, I just wanted to make sure that that was happening. Because I have it on the calendar, I just wanted to make sure.
I'm glad you
Sure,
mentioned
you want to do
that.
October 7th?
Okay. Any other board update? Mr. Zappa? No.
Nope.
Ms. Gillis?
No, thank you.
Ms. Walcoltz? The other 3 have had the opportunity to update us, so we would move on to personnel recommendations, item 10.
Yeah, this evening we have 12 items, items A through L. Most are routine items that have to do with contract changes, a few retirements and resignations. Do want to point out in item I that we're approving Matt Smith for some consulting services because Matt Smith, one of our technicians, is resigning. And so as we start the process to replace him, we might need his services a couple hours a week, depending on what Doug Cogdown needs from technology. Matt had a wonderful opportunity in the private sector, probably an opportunity that he just could not turn down. So, of course, kudos to him. We wish him the best of luck, and I'm sure we'll see him around. He loves our school district and loves being here, so hopefully we get to see him around quite a bit, but good luck to Matt. So with that, I'd like to recommend personnel items A through L.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there discussion or comments on personnel recommendations A through L? Hearing none, call the roll.
Mrs. Gillis, aye. Mrs. Wackel, aye. Dr. Messer,
Aye.
Mr. Zappa, Mr. Engel,
Aye. Motion passed. We would move to item number 11, educational recommendations.
Yeah, there are 2 items. The first item is for Spirit Therapy Services. Sarah, you want to mention what that is?
We are contracting for some speech therapy services because we have a speech pathologist who's going to be going out on maternity leave. And when she gets back, we have one going out on FMLA for some family stuff. So that's what that contract's for, to fill in.
And then item B is an MOU with Ashland University. If you recall, we did one with LCCC, kind of streamline, kind of a nice track for our students to go to LCCC. Ashland is doing a similar thing. If you looked over the document, though, there are also some perks to it, including some site visits here, some special site visits at Ashland, also some scholarship, $1,000 scholarship opportunities with a certain grade point average. So again, great partnership with them to kind of benefit our students if anyone's interested in going to Ashland University. So I'd like to recommend educational items 11A and 11B.
We have a motion and a second on the floor for educational recommendations. Is there discussion or comment on either of those items? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mrs. Gillis. Aye. Mrs. Wackel. Aye. Dr. Messer. Aye. Mr. Zappa.
Aye.
Mr. Engel.
Aye. Motion passed. Item 12 would be business recommendations.
Yeah, there are 2 items. The first item was what the treasurer mentioned. Amy mentioned about the frontline forecast software. And then item B was just added today. It's for Stark's catering services for the Gallery of Success on Friday. There was, I think, an error in placing it in the file in the shared folder, so you might not actually seen it, although it was just placed in around 5 right for the meeting.
Approximately 528.
There are no details of cost. Obviously, catering comes down to numbers and what the contract, I looked over real quick, what the contract is about really are the details about like cleanup or preparation, and if there were any kind of fees, what those fees might be for, except cleanup, setup. So the contract is just their contract of services.
There is an invoice in the folder as well
Okay.
for $1,450. There's a couple of issues with it. It doesn't have a purchase order, and it has the district's old board office address. So that's in the process of being fixed, but there is an invoice there as well. Now,
All right, so business items A and B.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second for business recommendations A and B. Is there discussion or comments on either of those?
So for clarity, say 1450 stays 1450 once
Yes.
those changes.
yes,
In the past, and I don't recall, have we used an outside catering group for this event?
I think we
I
do
believe
for
so.
Gallery of Success, yeah,
I would say yes too.
yes.
And has it been Sturks or was it someone else?
I don't know. I'm not in charge of the galleries. I'm not sure. Sorry.
I don't remember.
I'm not sure. I can look it up.
We can find that out though.
No, it's not,
Yes.
that's fine. I would just question as to why we use an outside source. Because I think that we need to give our own people the opportunity to shine once in a while. And I think that the product that we would serve would be enhanced by our own group if we could possibly look at that going forward.
I know we typically do.
They do it for the
our own-
sports one, right?
I was gonna say they do it for some, I know.
For like the retirees, they do it, that kind of thing. I assumed it was just based on not having the time to do this and get lunch.
Well, and that could very well be, but I think that if we had it planned properly, she is very capable of doing that with the staff, even if she has to move staff and bring staff in from that perspective for that time. So it's just something to look at moving forward for the next year.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have a problem using someone, but I think that we should always give our own people the opportunity to do that. And I'm not saying that she shouldn't charge us for it. I'm just saying that there's revenue that she could produce from food service and still charge for it.
This looks new to me, that Starks is new to us. I don't see previous.
I was gonna say, I didn't think we'd used Sturks for a while, but I couldn't recall that from that perspective. Any other discussion on anything? If not, please call the roll.
Mr. Zappa? Mrs. Gillis? Aye. Dr. Messer? Aye. Mrs. Wackel? Aye. Mr. Engel?
Motion passed. We will move into executive session for item A, the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of an employee or an official, or the investigation of charges or complaints against an employee, official, licensee, or student request a public hearing. We will go into executive session without the superintendent and the treasurer. There will be no action to follow.
We need a motion for that.
We do.
We will need a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor to go into executive session. Is there any discussion or comments? Call the roll.
Mrs. Gillis. Aye. Mrs. Wackels.
Aye.
Dr. Messer.
Aye.
Mr. Zappa. Mr. Engel.
Wait, we'll return this.
Yeah, we'll just